On the morning of October 7th at 6:30 a.m., while most Israelis slept peacefully at home, air raid sirens blared suddenly. Within a span of 20 minutes, thousands of rockets were fired at Israeli cities. The Israeli Defense Forces estimate that 2,200 rockets were fired, although Hamas claims the number to be 5,000. Israel possesses the highly advanced Iron Dome system, renowned as one of the world's most effective air defense systems. Its purpose is to intercept rockets fired at Israel using cutting-edge military technology, destroying them mid-flight to ensure the country's safety. However, during this devastating event, 5,000 rockets were launched at Israel within a mere 20 minutes, overwhelming the Iron Dome system. Tragically, this failure resulted in the loss of thousands of lives and injuries among the Israeli population due to the relentless attacks, marking this surprise attack as the largest and deadliest attack in the Israel-Palestine conflict in recent decades. This recent attack strongly echoes the events of the Yom Kippur War, which occurred exactly 50 years ago in October 1973. During that conflict, Egypt and Syria initiated a surprise attack on Israel, leading to a full-scale war known as the Yom Kippur War. The recent attack by Hamas cannot be considered as anything but a full-scale war. In addition to rocket strikes, Hamas launched a multi-pronged attack, employing ground, sea, and air tactics. They used a bulldozer to break down the boundary wall on the Israel-Gaza border, enabling numerous Palestinians to enter Israeli territory. Some intruders used motorcycles, while others utilized motor-powered hang gliders to infiltrate Israel from the air. Additionally, Hamas attacked Israel from the sea, employing speedboats in their assault. Several Israeli soldiers were captured and held hostage by the Hamas group. Israeli villages and cities along the border were infiltrated by armed terrorists. In a single day, several significant events unfolded in the conflict between Israel and Hamas. A military base on the Israel-Gaza border was attacked, resulting in the capture of an Israeli tank and many soldiers who were then held hostage by Hamas. In response, Israel declared a state of war and conducted air strikes in Gaza, resulting in the loss of lives, injuries among Palestinians.
Israel says it's at war after Palestinian militants launched a major terror attack.
Israel and Palestine are located in the Middle East. To the north lies Lebanon, to the northeast is Syria, and to the east is Jordan. Egypt borders the region to the southwest, and the Mediterranean Sea is situated to the west. Zooming in, the central area constitutes Israel, while Palestinian territories are divided into two parts: the West Bank, located to the west of Jordan, and the Gaza Strip, situated in the southwest of Israel, bordering Egypt. In the Palestinian territory of the West Bank, numerous Israeli settlements are under Israel's control. These settlements are considered illegal by the United Nations and many countries around the world. The Palestinian territories in the West Bank are administered by Palestinian authorities, led by Fatah, a political party. In contrast, the Gaza Strip is independently controlled by Hamas. Historically, there have been conflicts between Fatah and Hamas. Hamas is considered an extremist Palestinian organization and is classified as a terrorist organization by most countries, such as by Canada, the European Union, Israel, Japan, Australia, the USA, and the UK. However, countries such as Brazil, China, Egypt, Iran, Norway, Qatar, Russia, Syria, and Turkey do not consider Hamas a terrorist organization. Furthermore, some countries like New Zealand and Paraguay designate only Hamas's military wing as a terrorist organization. This diverse categorization is geopolitically significant, influencing how different countries respond to the ongoing situation in the region. If you look at the map of the current conflict, the Gaza Strip is represented in red, while the extent of Palestinian militants' infiltration in the Israeli territory is shown in blue. The attack has been named Operation Al-Aqsa Flood by Hamas military commander, Mohammed al-Daif. He claims that this action is a retaliation against the Israeli atrocities against Palestinians, particularly in response to events at Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. In response to the situation, Israel initiated its own attack called Operation Iron Swords. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, mobilized their Navy, Air Force, and ground forces to conduct drone strikes in Gaza. Additionally, Israel's energy minister issued an order to cut off the electricity supply to Gaza, a significant portion of which was previously provided to Gaza through Israel. During a televised address, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared the nation to be at war. He emphasized that the enemy would have to pay an unprecedented price for this. The defense minister asserted that Hamas had made a grave error and expressed confidence in Israel's victory. A notable aspect of this conflict is the failure of Mossad, the world-renowned Israeli intelligence agency, to intercept the initial attack. Mossad is widely regarded as one of the most powerful intelligence agencies globally. They have informants embedded within Palestinian military groups, operating not only in Israel but also in Lebanon, Syria, and various parts of the world. Historical records show that Mossad agents have executed precisely timed assassinations of significant military leaders. Their methods include placing GPS trackers on vehicles, using drone strikes, and leveraging mobile phones for targeted attacks. Given Mossad's extensive resources and capabilities, it raises questions about their awareness of the situation. Specifically, how were they unaware that thousands of rockets were being stockpiled in Gaza? The Gaza-Israel border is equipped with cameras, ground motion sensors, and regular army patrols. Despite these advanced security measures, there is a pressing issue about why these smart barriers failed. Internally, the Israeli government is facing significant criticism, with a former head of the Israeli Navy openly expressing his belief on Channel 12 that this situation represents a major failure on the government's part. Many citizens are questioning the whereabouts and actions of the IDF, police, and security forces. He told BBC that a thorough investigation is already underway to address this intelligence failure. On the international front, American President Joe Biden condemned the attack and emphasized his rock-solid and unwavering support for Israel. Similarly, the foreign policy chief of the European Union condemned the attack and asserted that, according to international law, Israel has the right to defend itself. He called for the immediate release of Israeli hostages. Iran has been one of the main supporters of Hamas. Its foreign ministry claims that Hamas's attack was an act of self-defense by the Palestinians. Neighboring Egypt's foreign ministry claims to be engaging with Saudi Arabia and Jordan to try to defuse the Israeli-Palestinian tensions. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas told the official news agency Wafa that Palestinians have the right to protect themselves against the terror caused by settlers and foreign troops. As mentioned earlier, he is a member of the Fatah political party that has been in multiple conflicts with Hamas. Historically, Jews faced persecution in Europe, leading to migration to Palestine for their safety. However, Palestinians have now been reduced to be refugees in their own land. While Palestine's cause obviously deserves support, advocating terrorism is not the solution. Leaders from other countries expressed shock at the terrorist attacks and extended solidarity with Israel and its innocent victims and their families. This response was expected, since Hamas's actions are nothing but terrorism. Many disturbing videos have surfaced showing Hamas terrorists mistreating women and civilians in ways too horrifying to describe here. It's deeply troubling that some individuals perceive them as freedom fighters. While it's true that there has been injustice against people in Palestine, resorting to terrorism, including targeting civilians in Israel, can never be justified. On one hand, there are people who advocate for the complete eradication of Palestine and celebrate attacks on the region, often overlooking the plight of ordinary Palestinians. On the other side, some individuals support Hamas terrorists and are pleased to see Israel under attack, wishing for Israel to stop existing as a nation. When you encounter such comments on social media, it's vital to remember your own humanity and not get drawn into promoting violence. It's easy to engage in warmongering from a distance, but reflecting on what ordinary Israeli and Palestinian families endure amid this conflict is crucial. The daily reality of life coming to a standstill and living in constant fear that a rocket might hit their buildings at any moment is a stark reminder of the human toll of this situation. It is undeniable that Israeli airstrikes have resulted in the deaths of numerous Palestinian civilians. The hope for a lasting peace between these two nations persists. However, the current situation suggests that the conflict is likely to continue. The only thing we, as individuals, can do right now is educate ourselves about the historical context and root causes of the Israel-Palestine conflict. We need to remind ourselves about the human stories on both sides, and that every life affected by this conflict deserves compassion and acknowledgement.